What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Just want to go over a quick preview of the Browns-Chargers matchup this weekend. I think it's going to be a really good one all around, guys. This Browns team got a little feisty last week, so let's hope it doesn't happen this week and the Chargers defense finds a way to slow them down. So let's just go ahead and get into it, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go.
Bolt Bros!
All right, guys, once again, appreciate all the love and support. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not. We always love to be able to hear from you in the comments below, so throw in some comments below about this weekend's matchup versus the Browns in Cleveland. Morning game, once again, early morning game is always kind of a little tough for a lot of West Coast teams. First off, coming all the way West Coast, time change, all that kind of stuff. Jim Harbaugh has actually had a pretty good philosophy thus far. I assume that the team will probably fly out today to be able to be out there, have a couple nights rest in their hotel, hopefully be able to be ready to go for the game at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for this game. Actually, excuse me, it's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So either which way, love to be able to see this game this weekend. It's going to be a good one all around, guys. And just want to be able to show up a quick little blurb about what NFL and the experts think about this game. Looks like the Chargers are favored essentially to win this game. And it's funny, the three different people who end up choosing that the Cleveland Browns are going to find a way to win this. It's only a 1-point differential between it. I believe even the spread right now is pretty close to that. So not too far off all around. Big thing about this game is that there was a fair amount of injuries on the Browns side of things. I know they got the linebacker out too. He is out. Obviously, Deshaun Watson is out, which, to be honest, is actually not a bad thing at all for the Browns. Last week, if you watched that Ravens-Browns game, Browns looked like a totally different team, a rejuvenated team without Deshaun Watson. Jameis Winston is going to play extremely well in this game. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game and potentially could be a shootout type game. Now, I don't know of many games this year that we've had shootouts. I mean, we've kind of been a thing with the Chargers that we've been able to keep games very, very close all around. It's going to be a very interesting game to be looked at all around for this game. Browns could be on a surging pattern at this point without having Deshaun Watson, which, my gosh, you just really think maybe that team really turned on him and just did not want to play for him at all. And it also makes you think the reason why the Browns had 4 different quarterbacks on their team too, is they kind of felt like Deshaun Watson isn't that guy for this team. So it's going to be interesting all around for us, guys. And it's going to be a game that we can't take lightly by any means. Now, going and looking at Cleveland and their defense and offense, offensively, 27th in the league, 17.3 points, yards per game, lowest in the league, 272 points played, 0.271, 28th yards per play, 32nd in the league at 4.3, third down conversion, 27%. Basically, if you look at a lot of these rankings on their offense has been abysmal this year. And it has not been a good thing at all. Now, going back to Jameis Winston, last week played against the Ravens, found a way to beat him 29-24, threw 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks on 27 completions on 41 attempts. Did well. The team basically did not run as well as you would think a Browns team loves to be. I mean, Nick Chubb coming back from an injury and everything too, kind of hasn't been himself so far. I mean, that was a gruesome injury. If you remember that from last year, it was not pretty to look at. He's still kind of getting things moving along and everything on in the run game category of things. He did have 16 carries, 52 yards. Dante Foreman had 5 carries, 26. Jameis Winston had 2 carries for 2 yards. The team is still trying to figure itself out. And this could be one of those games that could be a tough one that, could be a game where it could essentially be a trap game in a weird way. I mean, Jameis Winston, once again, they did 401 yards on the Ravens last week. Now, albeit Ravens are the worst in the league versus the pass, Jameis Winston had his way. You assume at this point that the Chargers will probably do the same thing with Justin Herbert cooking for the last 2 weeks. There's a great chance we could have high passing yards involved in that. And I'll chat a little bit more about the Chargers and kind of strategies on their side that I think could really play into this weekend's game. Now, with the Browns, the one thing that I was observing a little bit is the amount of differential between, rush play percentages versus offensive throwing the ball percentages. They're at about 30. They're ranked 30th in the league right now. Rush play percentage is about 35.29% of the time versus their pass play is about 64.71% for every play that they basically run. First down, second down, third down, fourth down. They are number 3 in the league in pass plays right now, 30th in the league in rush plays. So they are very unbalanced on their offense at this point. It's an interesting thing to see because I feel like always in the past with the Browns, it was a big thing about rush. They always had a very good O-line that could basically support a very heavy run-heavy situation. Bottom line, it just comes down to they haven't had Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is an absolute stud when he was healthy. And I don't know if he's going to be that same player that he once was, but it is something that you do need to basically keep under wraps if you're the Chargers. Make sure Nick Chubb does not unleash himself. Let that not be this game that he could just go out there and make things happen and have his breakout game. He's back. And I do feel the Chargers defense are very, very strong in a lot of different ways. One thing, too, I just want to note, quarterback sack percentage is number 32 in the league. 11.21% of the time they have allowed quarterback sacks. That is not good. That is not good. On the defense for the Browns, once again, they've had some injuries. They have actually had a fair amount of injuries on that side. That is going to be one thing that's going to be missing. Now, you still do got Myles Garrett. You still got Zadarius Smith still on there. That's a crazy thing. Now, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is out with a neck injury. That is a big loss to one of their biggest tacklers on their team. They will not have him as a linebacker in this team. Denzel Ward has had a concussion. He might not be able to be in this game. Still kind of to be determined on that if he gets cleared. He did not practice of recent. Who knows if that kind of ends up being the same way. Sorry, guys. But we will see what happens today for their injury report. Moving on. Well, actually, let me talk a little bit more about the defense. Bottom line, find a way to hold Myles Garrett. The whole idea of our left tackles and what they could do, they have got to step up in this game. Make sure Herbert has a clean pocket. Now, once again, attacking the middle of our offensive line has been one of our weaknesses. I assume there's going to be some sort of stunts where they'll move them in the inside and get them more involved that route for pass rushing ability. So interesting. Cleveland defense, though, has been allowing 23.3 points per game. That bodes well for the Chargers. If they do that, remember, we have not allowed more than 20 points a game on our defense, period. Is 20 points is the highest that we've given up, and we are actually one of the best defenses in the league in giving up points or not giving up points for the defense. Yards per game, they're right in the middle of the road there. I think if you look at third down conversions, they're very good on third down conversion percentage, lowering, being one of the lowest, number 3 in the league. And been middle of the road for red zone scoring, which has been a Achilles heel for us. So a lot to basically unpack with the Browns. I think the big key of it is hold Jameis Winston down. Don't allow him to throw. Don't allow him to cook. I know Amari Cooper is gone. They have lost some targets there. But last week, Jerry Jeudy played fine. They did end up having quite a bit of production out of their wide receivers last week, such as Cedric Tillman got 2 touchdowns on 7 catches, 99 yards. Elijah Moore, 8 catches, 85 yards. They spread it around. And then also David Njoku did kind of jump on the injury report. I think he'll be fine. It seems like he's a go for this week. So they got a lot of targets. It's just a lot of spread type of targets, not necessarily top tier guys, kind of similar to what we are here at the Chargers. But you know what? If you got a quarterback that's got a clean pocket and could throw the ball out of his hand, he'll be fine. He'll find ways to get it out downfield. Chargers defense is going to have a bit of a challenge this week. Now, moving on to the Chargers. offense has been kind of cooking recently. And you look at the ranks, it doesn't look that pretty at this moment. So we're number 25 in the league, only scoring about 18.9 points. Last week, obviously, Chargers had a fantastic week, one of their highest scoring weeks for the offense. I think that we have a great chance to be able to do the same thing this week and play extremely Harbaugh-based football. Bottom line, once again, if we get over about 23 points, we pretty much got this win. Actually, I always kind of feel if we get 21 points, because at most we'll probably give 20 to any opponent that we play, we'll be fine all around. So continuing to look down at the offensive, rankings, 311 yards that were in the league per game, 311.1 yards, 23rd in the league. I feel like that number is a little different because I think we are doing a lot better with this team. I think we're getting Justin Herbert a lot more healthier. He's throwing the ball a lot better all around. I think that we are trending into a direction where we're going to be able to get more into the higher 200s range per yards per game. Like last week, 378 yards, 256 passing yards, 122 rushing yards. If we could just constantly keep doing that, we will be absolutely a juggernaut as a team. Points, 0.315 per play, 25 in the league. Yards per play, we're 20 in the league, which is kind of crazy to think that I think we should be higher in that than that. Third down conversion, we're number 9 in the league, 40%, 40.40% in third down conversions. Fourth down, we're 28th in the league. We haven't had a whole heck of a lot of those, basically 33%. Red zone scoring has been our issues and has definitely been an issue, but I feel like we're getting much better at that as we continue. And now, obviously, J.K. Dobbins is kind of our bell cow at this point. If we had Gus Edwards, I think we'd have a better red zone situation, and getting him back healthy would be a good thing too for those red zone opportunities in short yard situations. Still converted a red zone goal line touchdown with J.K. last week. Touchdowns game, 1.7. That is something that I want to note quite a bit. I mean, bottom line, we got to make sure we could score touchdowns. I mean, finally, we got some touchdowns last week in the second half. First time since week 1. We got 2 of them last week. 2, which is great to see. We got to keep those fourth quarter touchdowns, second half touchdowns in general to keep happening. Once again, what's the philosophy of Harbaugh? You win games in the fourth quarter, right? Close them out in fourth quarter ball, right? You got to go out there and make things happen in the fourth quarter. Now, our offense is going to be interesting. Just a big note. Looks like DJ Chark's going to start this week. Looks like Quentin Johnston's going to be back. Darius Davis is still questionable at this point, but you'll have Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, DJ Chark, and also Josh Palmer out there. We will finally have our full slate of wide receivers out there, and Hayden Hurst is trending well for the tight ends too. We might actually have a full offense, albeit a couple different players there, but that's really exciting, guys. And Jalen Reagor is kind of one of those guys that I feel might be finding his groove with this team too. So keep an eye out for that. This could be a very exciting game all around for us, guys. And I'm excited to be able to see how this offense fully looks with a full wide receiver set here, guys. That's going to be awesome. Now, once again, too, like the Cleveland defense has been, good, but not great. And it was funny because it was one of those defenses that you always kind of looked at as top 5 type thing. They, as a defense, haven't been the best against the past and everything too, in my opinion. They've been kind of a little bit off all around. And it's a lot of guys that we've kind of been looking at that you want to basically go after for trades. And so it is one of those things that I think if they do not win this weekend, they kind of say, hey, like the season's pretty much a wrap at that point. It's going to be very, very tough for them to compete, especially within that division too. Now that week, the win that they had over the Ravens is huge, bottom line. But at the same side, you know what? Look, I think this is a game that the Chargers could really, really exploit and do a phenomenal job in the air and on the ground. I think they could play what they like to play, and that's Harbaugh ball, power football, physical punch them in the mouth type offense all around. Now, defensively, man, it's awesome to see all these stats, right? Look at this. You're first in the league, only allowing 13 points a game. Number 8 in the league of allowing opposing yards of 305. Opponents' points per play. Number 1 in the league at .225. Yards per play, number 13. That's our worst ranking at 5.3. But third down conversion, we're 5th against that in the league. Fourth down conversion, 9th in the league. Red zone scoring, opposition scoring, we're number 4 in the league. TDs per game, we're number 1 in the league at 1.3. This defense is incredible, guys. And the big thing is, though, is just getting this offense to get up to that level. Now, we got to get to a point, and I've been saying for the longest, get to 20 points a game. 21 points will solidify a win for us because this defense knows how to hold games. Bottom line, we just got to get out there and keep attacking them. And I think we do our ball. We play our ball. I think we will be totally fine in this game. A lot to basically unpack in this game, guys. And I'm really, really excited about what this game is going to be for the Chargers. I think, bottom line, we got a good shot with this one. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy one by any means. I think we just have to play our ball. Points that I'm very, very excited about is seeing a full wide receiver set out there. DJ Chark with his season, first game, starting out the season now, finally against the Browns. We'll see what we have as a wide receiver set here, guys. Last week, Ladd McConkey showed out. We got guys that can make plays, and that's a very, very exciting thing. Our defense is extremely stout all around and has showed out every single game. Tackling needs to get better, though. That's the big thing, too. But bottom line, guys, I'm excited about the game this weekend. We will be going live tomorrow to do the pregame show, talking more in depth about all this with all the 3 bros. So please join us on Saturday morning to be able to go over the entire game once again. So once again, guys, James from Bolt Bros. See you guys next one. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night.